Hey guys, Matt Jones in Sydney Olympic Park. It's 1st of April. Just got something to share with you. You can see the stadium just behind there. Just gonna take a walk around here. Where to begin? You know, on Facebook, on the prompt it says, "What's on your mind?" And that's what I want to talk to you about now. Some of you know I've been sharing quite a bit the last while, whether it was the aspect of writing this book that I'm currently working on, or veterans and mental health leading into the Marine Corps Marathon. And just over there, I did one of the, I think it was day 16 or day 17 of the 22 push-up challenge. And more recently, this exploring this project, Friendship Tree with Korea. So I'm not specifically speaking about any of those things. It's actually talking about part of the story that I've left out, that I haven't been sharing with you. And up until last night, it's part of the story I hadn't really been open with myself in that regard either. And so I think it's good for me to have this conversation with you. I met with a good mate of mine today, Greg, and we discussed this issue, and we agreed that the cruel irony around this is that the things that we most would want guarded as our secrets are often also the things that we need to share in order to heal. And Greg went on to say that to heal, the first thing we need to do is to admit there's a problem, and then secondly to talk about that. So while this is sort of a fairly open forum, I thought it was probably appropriate to come directly here, just to put it out there and talk about one issue. And I think what I'm hoping to do is just to share it with you. I'm after your help in as much as just for you to understand more of where I'm coming from. And what I'm talking about is anxiety, just to cut to the chase. It's sort of ironic in one regards that in this book I'm writing, it's a memoir about the necessity of failure in the pursuit of achieving almost anything. And part of the beginning of that story is a running challenge I undertook in 2009, which was designed to explore community well-being and resilience as a counterpoint to depression, anxiety and suicide. And that was in response to the deaths of a number of friends. But and then later, when I was here doing the 22 push-up challenge, and then last October running the Marine Corps Marathon in Washington DC, again I was largely exploring the issue of mental health among veterans, as much as I did in 2009, as an issue that was sort of out there rather than in here. And I think I was just reading the paper today, something about Beyond Blue, and Julia Gillard, who's the new head, making some comment about statistics. And again, it was a good article, but it's prompted me to speak to you today here. It was basically saying, here are the statistics, here's the problem, this is how bad it is. But again, it's sort of out there. It's not what we're actually encountering. And I wonder what we lose from that. And it's sort of appropriate I do this today. It's the 1st of April. I mean, this is no April's Fool's joke by any measure. It's 1st of April in Sydney still, and also in America, where friends of mine from the Mission Continues, joining with other veteran organisations to run an initiative called Run as One, where they're out running today across the country in various gatherings, just to highlight the need for better mental health among veterans. And as a veteran myself, I just know that the process of transition and fessing up to issues of mental health is a problem, and often a problem that has to sort of begin with the member, with the veteran themselves. You know, I didn't really want to. I sort of wanted to share this, and I didn't want to share it. I didn't want to share it because it's an assault on my pride. But I do want to share it because I know that I'm not performing at the standard I'm able to. I'm not delivering. I'm not leading. I'm not following up. I'm not collaborating. I'm not hustling. I'm not doing many things at the standard I'm able to. And things must change. I've got to change things. And that's not going to happen by better time management or more Pollyanna feel-good measures or just doubling down on effort. Those things, I can tell you now, they haven't worked. So what it's going to need is for me to change many things: my diet, possibly my water intake, meditation, yoga, stretching, exercise, sleep habits, work habits, all those things. I've got to really drill down and examine that. And the reality is, I actually don't. I mean, those things are all behavioural things. They're sort of superficial, but they're not getting to the key heart of this issue, which is this thing of anxiety. And what I've realised is that my performance is lacking because of you know, I mean, it's sort of, all I know is the problem. I don't actually know what the problem actually is, but the best I'm able to define it as is actually sort of some form of anxiety, and it's really been something that's crept in since I left the army. So many people haven't known me since I left, haven't known me before I left the army, and so you've got no sort of comparison. Many of my friends here do, and you know, I mean, you'd know this already without me telling you, I'm sure. But you know, anxiety is different to being anxious. Like, I'm quite positive and upbeat. I'm faced with an issue at a time, I'm able to get about and do it. And there's a difference between fighting and being in the fight. So, you know, if I'm presented with an issue to sort of take it up at that moment, it's easily done. But I guess getting into the fight, that's what the problem is for me. Is that I'm not getting into the fight, and I've got to get back to where I was before, where I'm actually, you know, getting back into the fight with some added intensity. It's absolutely essential I do that. So I just want to put it out there. I just want to sort of say I've got a challenge, a problem to address. It's not a war stopper, although it's meaning my performance is not good enough at the moment. It's not good enough by a long shot. And I'm seeking your help. I don't know in what way. Maybe just your understanding that I'm trying. And you know, I'm not really sure of the way forward. Welcome your advice. You know, I'm in a bit of a vulnerable spot in that regard. That's pretty much all I've got to say. I just wanted to share that with you. So thanks to everyone who's, you know, been encouraged me along through this time. Many people who have been recognising this in me and sort of encouraging me to sort of try a little bit harder, or not necessarily harder, but just to address things. I'm getting there, and it's because of your support and your care that I'm able to do that, so thank you. It's also appropriate, being 1st of April and my friends in America, the mission continues off running with their colleagues in other veteran organisations, that I just take this opportunity to say that I'm recommitting to the Marine Corps Marathon at the end of October in Washington DC, where again I'll be focusing on veteran mental health. My intention is to really have resolved this issue well before then, so I'll be powering along, hopefully with a capacity to help more people through what I've learnt. I'm really open to conversation and sort of exploring where this goes next. I'm sure I'm also not the only person feeling this way. So part of my reason putting this out there is to say, let's take the taboo off this and actually have this conversation, not just with some executive from Beyond Blue giving us a bunch of statistics, as important that is, but us as humans, as friends, actually saying, there's a problem here, how are we going to address it? We've got to care for each other, and thanks for listening.